Hey friends, I'm Linda Moon, Director of Grow Kids Curriculum. Welcome to the series walkthrough for Along the Way, a 4-week series from the Old Testament on Job. We recommend the series for the month of October because the story of Job, especially in his shifting relationship with his friends, aligns with our fall discipleship strategy of spending time with others. However, our scope and sequence takes kids through every major Bible story in 3 years, so feel free to teach this series whenever you'd like. So let's take a closer look at what Along the Way is all about. In week 1, we'll take a look at how Job's life took a drastic turn for the worse in chapters 1 and 2. Despite the pain and moments of despair, Job remained faithful to God and embodied this week's big idea. God is with me no matter what I go through. In week 2, we'll hear about how Job's friends showed love and care for Job in chapter 2 by sitting with him in silence and solidarity. But by chapter 16, their words only added turbulence to his journey instead of comfort. Of these two different strategies, this week's big idea reminds us we can show God's love in small ways. Then in week 3, we'll explore Job chapter 36, where God speaks. Even though God's response might have given Job more questions than answers, it became an invitation for him to relinquish control and trust God more fully. That's why this week's big idea is God is bigger than we could ever understand. Finally, in week 4, we'll see what happened in Job chapter 42 when God helped Job rebuild his life. And even though he lost so much, in the end, God gives him so much more, which helps us know we can trust God will make everything right. This month's memory verse, Psalm 121:8, reminds us to trust God too, because the Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. Okay, let's talk about the theme. At Grow Kids, we love pairing an engaging theme with each teaching series and creating an environment around it to really bring the Bible stories to life. The theme for this series is travel because we're talking about Job's journey of faith. To decorate your space, you can go in a few directions. You can make your space resemble an airport terminal with a backdrop like this one and makeshift signs like these. Or you can do a hodgepodge of different modes of travel using decorations like these, suitcases, and cardboard sets. Other fun ideas? Why not add in some yummy themed snacks that you can prepare in advance or have kids make their own? And if you need prize or giveaway ideas, there are so many cute gifts on theme, or you could even check out travel-size shampoo or other carry-on goodies that might be fun for your kids. And don't forget to check out the environment guide included in your resources folder that contains even more ideas, fonts and color schemes, Pinterest board links, curated Spotify playlists for elementary and preschool, as well as instructions on how to access original music from growmusic.org. So you have an overview of the series as well as a look into how to theme up your ministry space. Now let's talk about some of the exciting features of Along the Way. Now, if you've been using Grow for a while, you know our teaching is always broken up into 3 sections. The What section hooks kids with activities and questions that set up the Bible story and big idea. The So What section teaches and reinforces the scripture passage and big idea. And the Now What section helps kids dive deeper into what it all means and what next steps they can take in their relationship with God. But within this consistent structure that stays the same every time, each series uses a different combinations of what we call building blocks, like activities, object lessons, videos, reflections, and so many others in each major section to help teach the material in fun and new ways. Now, each series does something a little different with each building block, so here are a few that are unique to Along the Way. The first thing I want to talk about is the Bible story or the primary scripture block. Out of everything you do on a Sunday, this is obviously the most important part and the part you want kids to take seriously. But that doesn't mean you can't have fun. Challenge yourself to step out a little bit from your comfort zone and take your teaching to the next level by acting out a character, inviting kids to join you in the storytelling, and, just generally getting silly sometimes. And along the way, we suggest different travel motifs for each week. So in week 1, you can dress up as a flight attendant, pretending to announce a delay as you talk about the Bible story that had its own storms. We even provided a graphic you can print out or project to go along with this whole gimmick. In week 2, you can set up your chairs like the inside of a plane and launch the Bible story as a flight attendant again, after you go over some safety rules and point out the nearest exits, of course. In week 3, you're a train conductor, pointing out the sights that you're passing by as you talk about how God helped Job realize who God is. In week 4, kids have arrived at their destination and are being welcomed to a make-believe resort as they remember how God made things right for Job. But if you decide not to go the theme route, we intersperse scripture verses with the talking points in your lesson guide, so it'll be very easy for you to modify and make it your own. The next thing I want to highlight is the toddler hack for the big idea building block in the preschool curriculum. Now, I know that's very specific, but Grow Kids curriculum includes both elementary and preschool, which means you can pull from both tracks to customize your weekly teaching. But that's not all. We know that a lot of you have mixed ages in the same room, so that's why the elementary track comes with preaching hacks for you to tailor some building blocks more specifically for your upper graders, accessibility hacks for kids with disabilities, and the preschool track has toddler hacks that help some of the building blocks be more developmentally appropriate for our 18 to 36-month-old crowd. Now, the toddler hacks for the big idea reveals this month might be one you could find useful for more than just your toddlers, though. See, we think it's cool that even our littles learn the same big ideas as the big kids, but occasionally they can be a mouthful. So check out the hacks that we've provided that help you shorten them and still keep them aligned with the curriculum. And that was a quick look at Along the Way. In case no one said it to you today, what you do is so important. You are making a giant impact in the hearts and minds of all the kids and grown-ups in your ministry, and we're so glad that we get to partner with you as you do. So feel free to reach out and share your experiences with us through posts and photos on Instagram at Steffi Can Use or in our Facebook group, Steffi Can Use, a children's ministry community. Until next time, friends. Bye.